move down here. You're right here. You have a nameplate, but it's not official. It's not. Did y'all see your spots? Yes. Where you go? Roll call.
Sue without glasses.
Right. It's like Velma from Scooby-Doo.
I can see far away, but not a place.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order this meeting, BZA, March 2nd, 2023. Mr. Britt, you mind
Okay.
if we get a roll call?
I'll do that. Thank you. All right. Mr. Gear.
Here.
Mr. Roberts.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Ms. Hand. Mr. Perkle.
Here.
Mr. Alsabrook.
Here.
And Ms. Childs.
Here?
Okay.
Next order of business will be to review the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review? Can we get a motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next order of business will be communications from the chair and vice chair. I currently do not have any communications, except I would like to welcome our new ward BZA members, and this is going to be Mrs. Childs as well as Mr. Johnson. Welcome. We look forward to working with y'all side by side. Thank y'all for choosing to be with us here and serving our community. Move quickly here to old business. We have case number SV 230204. Would you please approach, state your name and address, and write that down for us, please?
How y'all doing? I'm Trey Crosby. This is Ferris Malky, 1737 Wellington Road. Y'all want to bring up the drawings and I can show you the revisions that we made, or y'all may have.
If you would speak into the mic too, that would be helpful. Thank you.
If y'all want to bring up the revised drawings, and I can show you where we slid it over. Yeah, you can see it. Well, that was the first one, and we got the revisions made.
Let's see.
No,
Hold on. I don't think.
Give me a second to pull them up.
Brian,
I didn't realize those were different.
okay. The last revised drawings that we submitted, do you have those?
I got an email earlier. Let me grab them.
Okay. Basically, that back addition, the furthest back addition, we slid it over as far as we could, kind of, after our last conversation.
How far were you able to slide it over?
I think it was 2.5 feet, if I remember correctly. Oh, yeah, they've got, I mean, I gave everything to Emily, or emailed everything.
It's in the packet.
It's at the very end.
Guide me as to which one. Is it
Okay, I'm waiting.
after
I
that?
think yeah, it's towards the rear, Brian, of the drawings. There's labeled revisions.
Brian,
Keep going. Keep.
I
go out
think
there.
you're looking at the packet for the second case.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's all I've received. I didn't receive any other updated ones.
You're just talking about this and the floor plan? I'm gonna give you these two.
Okay.
It's at the very end of the packet. If he's got. Well, while we're waiting, Mr. Crosby, did you have an opportunity to speak to the adjacent property owner about any of these revisions that you've shared with us? Okay, I just
did
didn't
not,
know
no,
if
sir.
you, okay, that's fine, thank you.
I'd like to ask you a question, as far as the variance request, with you making the revisions to the back part, has there been a different, variance request as far as your limits? Are you still requesting the same distance?
The distance changed a little bit, so I'm requesting it. I didn't fill out the whole packet again. I wasn't under the assumption I needed to.
Okay. I guess let the record show that we're looking at a distance of change. Is it 5.9?
From the original survey or plot plan. Yeah, it increased 2.5 feet. It was like 5.7 if I remember.
Proper is from five, the original request was 5 feet, 5 inches.
Well,
On the original application.
the setback was gonna be 4 feet 7 inches.
Right, correct, sorry.
And what is that now? I'm sorry, I'm looking at,
That's 7'2".
5.9 feet.
okay. Oh, I see, okay.
That back portion was kind of centered on the addition part, if you want to segment it to two. And then, after we talked, we went back and had them just slide that over as far as we could. I think that made sense to do that.
But the net change is that the requested variance has been reduced by 1 foot, couple inches, something like that. Okay.
Was there anything else that y'all would like to add to this before I ask the public to opportunity to speak?
I don't think so. If y'all have any questions, I'm assuming everyone kind of remembers what we talked about last time. I'm welcome to talk about it, but I don't know what y'all need to hear from me, if you have questions or anything.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Would like to open that up for anyone that may want to speak on this case. Let the record show no one is approached. So I'll open it up for the board for questions.
I just have a quick question. The property adjacent to it, which is like 1745, where does it sit on that survey? How close is it to the property lines?
It's on the left-hand side.
So it's 1745, right? Yeah. Okay. Do we know where it sits adjacent to the property lines? Okay.
Yeah, they're also non-conforming. I mean, obviously, I didn't pull a survey for theirs, but
Right,
I can.
I was just curious, because when I see their concern, it's obviously adjacent, it's because of how close it is,
Mhm.
but I'm also looking at how close they are to the property line as
Yes,
well.
ma'am.
So,
Yeah, we measured it's like 7 or 8 feet.
between houses?
No, it's 13.
They're within, instead of being 10 feet off,
Mhm.
they're 7 or 8-ish.
So
Okay.
you're saying
So they're
13 feet
within the-
between the houses if it's
Between
constructed.
Okay.
both of them right now, their closest point, they're like 13.6, and our proposed addition to their back of their property, we're still at like 13.6 from structure to structure.
So it would be consistent, the differences. So you're saying this would not get any
It
closer?
wouldn't encroach anymore, no ma'am.
It's hard to tell from the aerial, just because of the
Mhm.
trees and everything. I
Yes,
can't
ma'am.
really see exactly where the house sits, so. Okay, thank you. Actually, I have one more
Sure.
question, if that's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I totally understand why you all did the layout that you did for the
Mhm.
addition, because it lays out really, really nicely, I think.
Mhm.
However, one question is the bath number 2, that is being accessed directly from bedroom 3. Did you
Okay.
guys look at all, and you might have looked and decided this was not a good idea, but I'm just curious, did you look at all about pulling it out from the left of the new bedroom addition? I realize it impacts some windows, so I don't know if you
Mhm.
guys looked at readjusting window locations and how that affects even how things lay out in bedroom number 3. But did you look at taking that and shifting it so you could come straight in and shift that new master bathroom suite over at all? Just curious that y'all had a
We
chance to
did, we
look at
actually
that.
had 2 different architects
Okay.
draw them up, and
Mhm.
both of them drew them very, very similar. Actually, the first architect drew it even closer, and we decided to get someone else to do it, and
Mhm.
we got a little bit more distance. If you want to pull up the drawings, so we can talk about it. a little
Sure,
bit
that was the
further.
only thing I could come up
Okay.
with, to how to get the space that you're looking at, the amount of fixtures within the addition, but not go within that encroachment.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
it does affect the composition on the outside of the house, so I wasn't sure if that was something that you all, if it would even be acceptable to you guys, but I didn't see that there were any windows that were gonna be on that side of that new bedroom, and so wasn't sure if you could put a bathroom on there and just bump everything over and shift it, to shift those windows over in that bedroom number 3, to get that bathroom accessed from a different, instead of being accessed from the right, it would access from the bottom, I guess. So that was the only idea I came up with, so.
Yes, ma'am.
It does make the movement from the master bath into the master bedroom a little less tight as well, but,
Okay.
but I don't know if it really feels as tight as it does based on this drawing.
Yes, ma'am.
But it really was the only other idea I had, so,
Yes, ma'am.
to try to help you guys out.
Yes, ma'am.
But I'm happy to look at it up there if you want, but, so that, yeah, it was just, did you all, Again, if you move that new bathroom, that's access from bath number 2. If it basically went and moved down
I
and
see.
moved to the right of that bedroom, like kind of where I imagine the dresser and the TV is, and then you came into that bathroom from the end as opposed to the other, you know.
I think I know what you're, I see,
Yeah.
I think I know exactly what
I mean,
you're
it's a
saying.
long bathroom, so it kind of makes sense to
That-
go in from the middle.
The other problem, I guess, is for them as a family, that right off the deck and that, the property just drops off. And to have any type of backyard, that little courtyard area, and it's,
Oh, I
it
see.
looks larger than what it is. It's essentially a courtyard.
Okay.
And so they're trying to have some kind of space back there. It does make sense, but it would, it's just hard on that property, the way it's sitting on that.
Right, so that's at a second floor, basically.
Yes, ma'am. I think she's saying take back take it and put it over where the two windows are. Basically, don't use your master suite and slide over. You see what I'm saying? But it would, it would just.
You're building up, you're having to do more foundation work and more.
Yeah, it's,
Cuts up the space.
it doesn't make sense for your home. I don't see it. I see the opportunity, but I think it doesn't make sense.
And now you're like pouring footings and doing the bottom level and top level just for that.
It's gonna look so choppy too. I mean, we're already fighting it to make it look intentional, and that wouldn't even, sorry.
Do y'all have any other comments or anything that y'all would like to look at, for us to look at before we?
No, sir.
I'll make a motion that we vote on SV 23-02-04.
We need clarification as to what the proffer is, so that we understand what the board is voting on, as opposed to the original variance request was something different.
I see it because it wasn't
This
resubmitted.
isn't a new application.
That's right, that's right.
Uh,
So they would be proffering from their original request to what they are presenting tonight.
Right, it'd be proffering to reduce the requested setback variance from 5 feet. It was 5 feet and 5 inches to 4 feet and 2 inches, or 3 inches? 2.
Well, if we're comfortable doing the math, or we could say,
Okay, I see what you're saying. I guess we just, it'd be a proffer that the setback, you know, the variance would be no more than
5.9
yeah.
inches or.
The variance would be 4.1
Right,
feet from
yes. Reduced.
reduced, right? I'm sure that was clear as mud.
Yeah, so,
Motion over, you
Let me do, well, let's, okay, make sure I've got the number right. So the requested variance now will be 4.1 feet, okay. So I move to approve that we vote on SV 23-02-04 with the proffer that the requested variance is reduced to 4 feet, or 4.1 feet.
yeah, that's fine. It's being recorded too, so I'll catch it.
I'll second Fred.
I'd prefer that someone else do that. Explanation-wise, that Mr. Roberts and Mr. Gear are supernumerators, and they're rotating their votes on the various cases. Mr. Roberts will be voting on this case, and he made the motion, so if another member would second that motion, that would be preferable.
Second.
All right. All right. Thank you. All right. Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
No.
Mr. Perkel,
Yes.
Mr. Alsabrook,
No.
and Ms. Childs.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
yes.
Yes. It does not pass. It has to be 4.
Let the record state that the motion for the variance here did not pass, it's denied. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
For new business, we'd like to call a case SV-23-03-01. That's 316 Devon Drive. Can you please state your name and your address and write that accordingly?
Good evening. Alan Causey, 316 Devon Drive. What we're requesting is a variance of the rear setback from 20 feet to 10 feet. And the reason we're requesting the variance is we've got a fairly sizable lot, and we, as we planned our addition to our home, we tried to keep everything tucked in kind of behind the existing home that we're gonna keep the part of the building, and not encroach on our neighbors to the side and take our addition to the back, because in the back our neighbor is in Mountain Brook, part of Office Park, and there's a large wooded buffer behind there, so if we encroach that way, we're not really encroaching on anybody in particular, certainly no Homewood residents. So that's the request. We do have some slides. If you wanted to go to the last survey that shows the existing home, and then the dark black lines would be what the addition looks like. So you can see we tucked all the addition from front to back rather than to the side. We have a large number of large trees, especially on the east side of the property, and so we didn't want to go into those trees or affect those. If you want to scroll to, I guess, the next picture, there's some aerial photos. So you can see the large number of trees, very large trees that are on both sides of the house in the middle. And this is a good example of showing our neighbor to the rear, which is the office building, and the large wooded buffer between us and the office building. It's not evident from this, but there are also the power lines run on the rear of the lot.
Do you have any other further comments you'd like to share with us before we open it up to the public?
I don't think so.
This is a public hearing. Welcome the public to come up and speak on this case. Please state your name and your address, please, and write that down.
Yes, my name is Jenny Whitman. I live at 400 Devon Drive, the house immediately to the east of this house. And the Causeys bought this house a couple of years ago. It had been sitting vacant for 5 years. And so their plan to renovate the house, keep the integrity of the house, and tuck it in behind. We do have a 100-foot easement, natural preserve, I forget what it was called, a natural preserve between our property line and the lot behind us, which used to be Capstone Development, and I'm not sure who owns the building now. So nothing will ever be built in that 100-foot easement, natural easement between us and Office Park. And so what they're proposing keeps the integrity of the look of the house with the original intent, but it brings it up to modern standards. So my husband and I, Alan Whitman, are fully in favor of this addition into the back of the house.
like to offer up one more time if there's anyone else in the public that would like to comment on this case. Thank you for your comments. We'd like to close the public portion and open it up here for the board.
I'll move we vote on case SV 23-03-01.
Second.
All right. Mr. Gear,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Perkel,
Yes.
Mr. Alsabrook,
Yes.
and Ms. Childs.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right, thank you.
Your variance request has been approved, and you have 180 days to apply for your permit.
Thank you very much.
Next case, we call SV-2303-02. That's 532 Cliff Place. May you please approach? Once again, please state your name and your address.
Donald Proctor, 532 Cliff Place, Homewood, Alabama. We are wanting to continue along the same setbacks pre-existing on the house to add a eating area and a 5-foot deck on the rear of that, on the right side of the house. The house to the left is just a solid brick wall, and we'll be basically going to the same distance it is on the property with it. And we're trying to get about a foot, 10 inches off of this, off of the setback is supposed to be 5, but the whole house is at 3 foot, whatever, on both sides. So we're not changing anything that's not pre-existing.
Any other questions or comments?
She may have some. You got anything? No, no, we got anything, no, no.
Well, we're going to open it up to the public, and we will close that pretty quickly. Then no one's in the audience there. Open it up here for the board for any questions. Just for the record, the current decking there, you're proposing to remove and install new.
Mhm.
Same setbacks currently, no
Yeah.
encroachments.
Well, the deck, yeah, I didn't even look up there. So I guess it would be the same, yes, because it's actually already over there. Yeah, that's correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll move to approve case SV 23-03-02 for a vote.
Second.
All right. Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Alsabrook,
Yes.
Ms. Childs,
Yes.
and Mr. Perkel.
Yes. Your motion has been, your variance has been approved. You have 180 days to apply for your permit. Thank you.
Thank you,
Very
appreciate
much.
it.
Have a good night.
Next item of business here would be communications from the staff. Do y'all have anything you'd like to share?
I do. I'd like to congratulate Ms. Hand on baby Francis that was born a couple of weeks ago,
Yes. That's
last Friday. Last Wednesday. Sometime in the past couple of weeks, she had baby Francis, and we're real excited about that, and look forward to seeing her back next month. Yes.
Indeed, seconded.
And I would echo again the comments of the chairman that we welcome our 2 new members and look forward to working with you in the years to come. Thank you
Years.
again for your service here to the city.
Thank you.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.